Hello? Okay. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Huh. Huh. Alright, welcome. Welcome back. Today we are studying for this midterm and this midterm. But I also have to get rabies vaccinations. Um 4 times in the next week or 2 weeks. There was a fucking bat in my house. And my cat touched it, and I touched it. I didn't mean to touch it, and then it flew at my face, and I fucking punched it, and it died. And then yeah. So I've got my course notes on the other monitor here. I have my textbook, which I found on GitHub, so I'm not going to show that. And then I have a solutions manual written for that textbook, or like a previous edition of it. And so I've got this list somewhere of practice problems. And there's the first 3 chapters of this textbook are on the quiz, the midterm. I want to get through the first sort of 50 of them today, which is the first chapter. First 50 questions of the first chapter. I think I'll do every other one. Because I've got the answers with me. I'll use DeepSeek or ChatGPT or something to help me if I can't solve them myself. But the more of them I do, the better equipped I am, because my understanding is that this midterm is literally just these questions. But I'll set that aside for now. The tally, that is. I'm also procrastinating really hard today, but while we're at it, let's procrastinate some more. I'm wearing one of these shirts. I think I'm wearing the Jericho wool. Wait, no way, there's more in stock. Oh, fuck. There are more in stock. But I want the blue one. I don't want... I already own this fucking exact garment. Oh, so they're still doing their warehouse sale here. Men. I would never wear that coat. Modern Melton wool. Got something. That's basically what I'm wearing. The Jericho wool. This is what I'm wearing right now. The fern color. How cool is that? Or maybe it's... Nope, that's this color. Caribou. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, look at this thing. It's like crazy constructed. But the reason I looked this up, to procrastinate mainly, but they have like these whole things. All season version of our hard-working service shirt. Densely woven mock corduroy is meant for rugged wear, but keeping you comfort. Holding off showers when worn as a shirt or overshirt. The design features a double yoke that lies comfortably on the shoulders. A chest pocket with snap closure. Single button sleeve pockets. Sleeve placket. Unique dye-free process. 16 ounce. Wool and nylon. Fuck yeah, man. My sister got me this. Very grateful. I have fucking one of these somewhere. Not somewhere, like right there. I think it's it's one of these shirts. My sister got me this blanket too. How cool is that? It's over there. But I'm a double XL is the thing. So, anyway. Alright, last procrastinating thing.
Topping handcrafted crust pizza for $9.99. Best pizza, best.
You probably already answered this, but why start from scratch versus using an engine? Why reinvent the wheel? It's a good question. And the answer is twofold. One is because I think it's important for game developers who are going to be serious programmers to learn everything about how a game works. And if you start with an engine, then it basically changes what you're learning from the fundamental truth of how to implement a game to someone else's version of that. They have basically gone from what the actual game code actually does and put a big old giant layer in between you and that. So now what you're really learning is that engine. You haven't learned how to make games. You've learned how to make games in Unity, right? And if Unity were to disappear, for example, you would no longer know how to make a game at all. I'm not exaggerating this, that's just the truth. And so while there's nothing wrong with making games in engines, because that may be the most efficient way for you to make the thing that you want to make, I don't think you can have a complete game development education as a programmer without learning how everything works right down to the core principles that have been true for the past several decades. That's how a CPU runs a game. And so I think those are essential to learn, and I wanted to show them. So if people want to use engines, that's totally fine. But that is the opposite of what I'm trying to show here. I want to show how all that stuff works. And I want to give people the ability to make their own engine stuff as necessary as well. Because even if you go use an engine like Unreal or something to make a game, knowing how all of it works underneath makes you so much more powerful even in that engine. Because now it means you don't just have to look at the docs and guess how the thing kind of is doing it. You know how the thing really works. And so you can go, oh, I know there must be a way for Unreal to do X, Y, Z, because I know that's how the CPU works and I know it can do it. So let me go find how to do that or write my own plugin that can do that for me. And now you're so much more powerful. You don't have to be like hamstrung by the things that they allowed you to do in that sort of layer, right? So it's empowering, it's educational, that's all good. But the second thing I wanted to point out is saying reinvent the wheel is a very misleading statement. And it always bothers me a little bit when people say things like, why reinvent the wheel? And the reason is because the wheel is an amazing invention. It is almost perfect, or even possibly perfect for what it does. When you look at a wheel, it is the thing that perfectly turns dynamic friction into static friction for moving objects, right? It's something that is so elegant and beautiful that if you asked me why you would want to reinvent it, I would say, of course you don't want to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is amazing. It has worked for thousands of years. It has been unchanged for thousands of years. The concept is the same today as it was when they first made a wheel, probably, right? It does exactly the same stuff physically. Nothing we have developed in the past 30 years of game development is a wheel. We do not have a single wheel. If you think Unity is a wheel or you think Unreal is a wheel, that is it's just plain short-sighted. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. In the future, we will have so much more powerful tools for game development that they will make the engines we use today look like a joke. People will laugh at the things that we did to make games today. And the reason that I point that out is not to diss on those things, because they are the best engines we have today. So yes, if you need to use an engine, you want to use some of these things, right? But I want to point out the fact that if we want to get to a real wheel, that when you really do say to me, why would you reinvent the wheel? I would say, you shouldn't. Use the wheel. If we want to get to that wheel, we need people making new things that attempt to be a wheel. And you can't do that if all you know how to do is program stuff in Unreal or Unity, because that's all you get. That's the square wheel, right? That's kind of clunking around. And if all you're ever going to do is build cars on top of that, they're going to be lousy, right? Unless you're driving on a road that looks like this. So basically what I want to inspire to as part of this series, if I can, is I want people to look at this and go, hey, wait a minute. Low-level game programming is not that hard. I saw him do it. I saw how he did it. And I'm starting to understand this. I could go do this. And if they get into it and get excited about it, then they may be the people who make those next engines that allow a whole new wave of game development to happen. Just like Unity allowed so many more people to make games who didn't have that knowledge, who's going to be making those things of the future, right? And so that's why I think low-level programming is so important, is because we need lots of people with those talents and those skills to get us to the point where it really is silly to be working on it anymore. But we are so far from there, trust me.
Okay. Let's fucking actually do some work.
Picture this.
Find us some
You've got a
music to listen to.
website idea and your team is ready to go. Instead of taking months,
Yeah, this will work. All right, so Application layer transfer. Hosts. Wired wireless communication. Core. Processing units. Frequency division multiplexing. Different channels transmitted. GSL. Did already. Access networks, enterprise networks, Ethernet. Enterprise Ethernet. Gigabit per second. 10 gigabit. Packet transmission delay. Time needed to transmit L-bit packet. Propagates between transmitter receiver pair. Physical link. Cat 6 is 10 gigabits per second. too hot. Really frustrating doing looking at lecture slides and doing practice textbook practice problems with after 6 years of undergraduate, still having like no real hard skills, which is my fault for not doing this shit. Fuck. Frustrating. But we keep going. D-trans is LMR. Entire packet must arrive at router before it can be transmitted on next link. End-to-end delay is 2 LR. 2 LR on average. One hot numerical example. Queuing delay and loss. Packet queuing and loss. If arrival rate to link exceeds transmission rate, there's going to be a backup. Packets will queue, waiting to be transmitted to the link. Packets will be dropped if memory buffer in router fills up. Circuit switching. End-to-end resource allocated to reserved for call within circuit. Call its second circuit. Dedicated resources. Frequency division multiplexing. TDM. So FDM transmit all four at the same time on different frequencies. Time division multiplexing.
So you get a little chunk of each. And then you can see there's just one little chunk of
Cycling through the different ones. Packet switching versus circuit switching. 1 gigabit per second. Each user 100 megabits per second. Yeah, 10%. 0.01. Circuit switching. Circuit switching. You have 10 users at a time. You have 10 times 100 megabits per second. That's 1 gigabit per second. With packet switching. With 35 users. Shut the fuck up. Why is that so loud and thing the whole time? Nice app, bro.
Give employees the career guidance they deserve and watch them propel your company forward. LinkedIn makes it possible.
With Gillette Labs, my game face doesn't take days off. Gillette's ultimate shaving experience.
That's smooth.
Any anytime I'm giving a lecture to students, one of the things that I'm always kind of afraid of, and I think everyone should be, is that students, if they go on to a long programming career, will be programming for like 40 years. And I've already been programming for 40 years, and I know that any kind of advice or information or things that people say are true 40 years ago often aren't true even a few years after, let alone for all your entire programming career. So for this lecture, I kind of wanted to try and figure out, is there anything that I could say about software architecture, which is primarily what I work on day to day and what I think most about? Is there anything I could say that I've ever seen that approximates an actual...
How do computers communicate with each other? Well, every computer is assigned an IP address, which uniquely identifies a device on a network. And to round it all out, we have the poorly named TCP/IP, or the Internet Protocol Suite, since it actually includes UDP as well.
What?
Focusing on TCP, there has to be some set of rules, aka protocols, that decide how we send data over the internet. Just like how in real life we have a system that decides how we send mail to each other. Usually when we send data like files, they're broken down into individual packets, and when they arrive at the destination, the packets are numbered so that they can be reassembled in the same order. If some packets are missing, TCP ensures that they'll be resent. This is what makes it a reliable protocol and why many other protocols like HTTP and WebSockets are built on top of TCP. How do computers communicate with each other? Well, every computer is assigned an IP address, which uniquely identifies a device on a network. And to round it all out, we have the poorly named TCP/IP, or the Internet Protocol Suite, since it actually includes UDP.
So my mom gave, I think, one of the best.
Probably done. What is your name?
9 packet switching users. Oh, for circuit switching. No. No. 9 people cannot. Suppose packet switching is used. What is the probability that a given specific user is transmitting? Why would I? Maybe. Oh, fuck off.